So Har has had a long-term relationship with Annonas, so I would really like him to share his knowledge about all sorts of Annonas that he has come in contact with and studied over the years. So here's Har.
Another species in the Annonaceae botanical family, which is not one of my favorites, is Mountain Soursop. We mention it because it grows very well here. It fruits heavily. It takes almost all kinds of soil except long-term swampy conditions, and takes temperatures down into the mid-20s, or at least upper 20s, and some people like it. I don't. However, if you peel the mountain soursop fruits and slice them and put them in Ziploc bags in the freezer for a week or so, take them out and half thaw them, it's kind of like sherbet. Of course, you spit out seeds as you eat sherbet. And I've had several different varieties of mountain soursop fixed that way, and they were fine. You can also take out the seed from those frozen slices and blend it up and make a fine nectar or milkshake with it. So yes, it can be used as food and it can be tasty. Just most people who try mountain soursop fresh are not fond of it. If you try it while it's still firm, just barely ripe, you're more likely to like it then. If you wait till it's mushy soft, it's kind of stinky. It's not spoiled, but it's real strong smelling, strong tasting, and most of us here in Florida anyway don't grow to appreciate it that way. Mountain soursop is also being experimented with as a rootstock. I don't have much to report on at this stage, but one thing that I know can grow well for 20 years or so on mountain soursop is the Rollinia deliciosa, the Amazon custard fruit, or biriba. I had some growing in my yard very well and fruiting heavily for years until my two trees suffered severe hurricane damage. One recently died and the other's barely holding in there. So the mountain soursop roots are not super hardy towards being half lifted out of the ground and then pushed the other way and so on. They don't like that at all. Also, my trees, actually the grafted part of the tree, the top part of the tree, sunburned when the hurricanes blew them over. So my biriba and mountain soursop are no longer gorgeous, but they were nice for over a decade and very fruitful. Mountain soursop, like regular soursop, true soursop, is probably native to northern South America. With both of those species, we say they're probably native to the northern part of South America, northwestern corner especially, because we find the most diversity in those species there. The most difference in the fruit and leaves and flowers from one tree to the next, that we think we're looking at one species, but it changes a lot in one valley to the next. However, the ancient nations of the Americas, the so-called Amerindian peoples or indigenous peoples of the Americas, liked the true soursop and the mountain soursop and took their seeds with them in their canoe trips and so on, and spread them all over Central America and the Caribbean islands and through much of mid and eastern South America. Western South America, the climate was not appropriate, too dry. But in the Amazon region and through the Atlantic forest areas, well into 2/3 or 3/4 the way down into Brazil, north to south, you find mountain soursop and true soursop trees. The mountain soursop goes a little further into colder areas. I don't know of anyone who has commercialized mountain soursop. I have heard it theorized that it would make a fine smoothener for some ice cream mixes. I don't know if that was ever tried on a commercial basis. You would need a very good depulping machine to get the seeds out. The fruit are pretty easy to peel, but you would have to get every last seed out because the seeds inside them are poisonous. If you swallow a whole seed, it's no problem, but if you bite it open and then swallow it, you will be throwing up like a dog until you've emptied everything out. And it'll be a miserable experience. You would not want to cook the pulp with the seeds still in it. You must get Annona seeds out of the pulp before you process it. With any of them, you can swallow the seeds if the seeds are not cracked. If they're whole, fine. Don't cook them, don't put them in a blender, don't swallow mashed or cracked seeds. Some people talk about medicinal use. The seeds are very powerful. I would not mess with that. The leaves of some of these species are traditionally used as tea and are relatively safe, but the seeds are rather powerfully poisonous. One thing that people do with mashing Annona seeds of various species is putting them on head lice. But then it's dangerous because if you get any in your eyes, it's bad news. It does kill the head lice just fine.